everybody, what is up? My name is Mackenzie.
And I'm Jonathan.
We are husband and wife, and we'd like to welcome you to TerreDice.
And we've had Disney Villainous, we've had Marvel Villainous, and we are back with Star Wars Villainous.
And this is one we've been looking forward to for months, so let's see if it lives up to the power of the dark side.
I am your father. If you are not familiar with the Villainous series, it is a game where you play as various villains from Disney, Marvel, now Star Wars, and you are trying to accomplish your goals. But the trick is, in this game, you actually do win. It's a lot of card play. You're moving around and you're playing your cards to try to accomplish your goals.
So in this game, our baddie lineup is we're gonna start with the number one baddie himself, and that is Darth Vader. So Darth Vader's goal is going to be to conflict Luke Skywalker and get him to the throne room with Palpatine in order to win the game.
Next up, we got General Grievous, who is all about defeating lots and lots of Jedi and adding those fine lightsabers to his collection. He's looking for 8 different lightsabers.
Next up, we have Kylo Ren, and his goal is to commit completely to the dark side. He's going to be conflicted throughout the game, pulling up to the light side, but you're going to try and pull him down to the dark side.
Next up, we have Moff Gideon, who's trying to capture Grogu and get lab samples from him.
Last but not least, we have Asajj Ventress from the Clone Wars, and her goal is going to be to complete 3 of her missions that she has that are set up for her during the game.
Let's dive into the way this game is played compared to other Villainesses.
Yes, how is this different?
Yeah, if you're not familiar with other Villainesses, go check out videos on that. We're just going to talk about the differences. I think the 2 major differences that I think were big positives was they added deep space, where you have your spaceship stations, and then they changed the way that you play cards. So effects and cards that would cost money are different. So I think we should talk about those. So deep space essentially adds locations to your board. So you have 2 vehicles in your deck that's like Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, or one of your vehicles, your big flagship, and you can move your mover to that location if you've deployed it, and it has a whole bunch of actions on it, as well as a ship-specific ability that lets you get through your deck, do other cool things. Now, there are also ships in the Fate deck where you could get engaged with an enemy ship, and they will cover up those spots so you can't go on them. Even worse, if you don't have a ship deployed, or if they've evaded for some reason, for every ship that's not currently engaged with one of your ships, your hand size decreases. So it's like you're being chased and you don't have time to catch up. Yep. So you might have 3, you might have 2 cards in your hand, depending on how many ships are out.
Another big difference in this version is that there are 2 different styles of playing cards. So you have your normal play card action, which you pay with quote unquote power, like in the original, but this one you are going to be using to pay credits. Yeah. And then there is also another card where you will pay ambition. So the way you get ambition, every time it's your turn, you will gain an ambition, and there's different cards that will also allow you to gain ambition, and those are, you cannot use the play card symbol to play that. You have to use the ambition action in order to play those cards. Okay,
so I liked this more than I thought I was gonna like it. Essentially, your every turn ambition that you're getting is sort of like your drive. You're getting more and more angry. And what was really cool was the things that you're paying credits to play, that makes sense. It's like you're paying for more stormtroopers, or you're paying for ships, or things that cost credits. Your effect cards, the thing that were like, he's mine, or like, I'll take that, or whatever, all the different effect cards, those cost ambition. So it's kind of like your force or your willpower. And it totally makes sense because those things would not have cost you credits. It's just how you're maneuvering around the board. And so it was a very thematic change that I thought was really cool.
Another thing I would say is different from this game as opposed to Marvel Villainous, they went back to the original format where each character has a different fate deck, which I actually really appreciate. I wasn't a huge fan of the central fate deck that they did in Marvel Villainous, but everyone is now having their own fate deck.
Yeah. And I liked the central fate deck well enough, but I think what's cool about the Star Wars Villainous is I think that the team at Ravensburger has really nailed how to make a thematic fate deck that's like, oh, it makes sense why this is happening to me as a villain. And I think they've done a really good job with it.
So let's dive into art and components. Let's first start with those awesome miniatures.
That's the coolest thing. Okay, so every Villainous game has these sort of like distinctive characteristics about the villain that make up their figurines. So for like, it's the cauldron for the Horned King, or it's, something about them.
Always really cool.
What they did for this was every character's body is made up of their lightsaber hilt. And then their head usually looks a little bit more like their head or their face. But I thought this was so cool because like Kylo Ren's lightsaber looks awesome. They used the dark saber for Moff Gideon, which worked great. They used those 2 like katana, like ninja sword ones for Asajj Ventress. It's very, very cool. And Grievous is just like this giant collection around his belt, so I love it.
I would say overall the design of them is really good. They try to do something that I read in an article. They describe it as trying to make them feel space-like, which is like there's
star-speckled.
Star-speckled, and how the catch is every single person that buys a copy will have a slightly different star-speckled. To me, it didn't really come across as space, at least in the version we got.
Yeah, the mass-produced, I will say in their video it looked really good. What came to me, it actually just looks like there's like cotton balls and a couple of
I was concerned at first because I thought Darth Vader, something was stuck to Darth Vader because he had like all this white stuff coming off of him.
Yeah, but honestly, I don't actually think it's all that bad. It's just kind of a neutral for me.
So that's the miniatures. Let's go on to card art. Now, we have mixed opinions on the card art because, well, it's not consistent. There are some of the characters that are beautiful. Moff Gideon, for example, all custom art.
So awesome.
Looks really nice. And then you look at Darth Vader's deck, and it's clearly so many screen grabs. I would say almost his entire deck is a screen grab. And some of them, you can tell they try to draw on the screen grab, and some of them are just straight up screen grabs. And then the other characters, it's kind of a mix, except for Asajj Ventress and
So Asajj uses Grievous uses a lot of Clone Wars art, which looks more in the style of the game. But again, it's you didn't get that sort of unified look that you get with some of the other Villainous games. All in all, I think it turned out to good effect, but I think they could have spent more time, especially on Darth Vader's deck.
Especially Darth Vader, and especially with him being probably the most well-known, which I'm surprised they chose to do so many screen grabs for him, because that's the one everyone is going to recognize. Yeah, that's a screen grab.
Because I remember the scenes in the movie that it came from even.
Yeah, so, or there's just like weird ones where Han Solo's been like drawn his face on, but it kind of looks like a Ken doll. Yeah, but some of the art, like I said, Moff Gideon's is beautiful. And then everyone's board is done very nicely. So now let's hop over into the individual characters and what we thought of them.
Okay, so I love General Grievous, first of all. I had the most fun with him just because I was like, oh, this will be an excellent addition to my collection. I was just like taking all these blades. And what I loved was the attention to detail was really good. He's the droid army general, right? So I had all these droid cards. My droidicas could roll all over my board and get to where they needed to be. The magma guards would keep the Jedi in place, so they got stuck there and I could escape with all my other things. And then there were two Jedi, both Kit Fisto, who, this literally only happened in one scene in Clone Wars, but Kit Fisto has his two lightsabers when he takes one from Grievous, and Ahsoka Tano has two lightsabers. So when you defeat them, you get two lightsabers. And the final touch that I just loved, there's these 8 little lightsaber tokens that you collect, and I didn't notice until later, they actually each have their own design on them. So it's 8 unique designs for those punch outs, which is just like really nice. Looked really good.
So Moff Gideon, just like General Grievous, does an excellent job with the theming. Mandalorian was what got me into Star Wars. So again, so that is what I really enjoyed, being able to play his deck. He is one of the harder ones, I would say, out of them. He just has a couple more steps, but I like the step characters.
He did win one game.
He did, yeah. I like the stepped characters where it's like you have to complete this, you're done. You can check it off. You can go this, check it off. So I do enjoy those about this character, and the art is beautiful and theming's great on him.
Yeah, I think he's one of those characters that's all about sequencing. So if you play things in the right order, you're not going to get messed up. You'll probably win. Then we got Asajj Ventress, who is super fun. She's just like, assassin for hire. Like she's being sent out by the Sith, and she has a series of missions. And so her missions are like she's got to go take out Ahsoka and the clone troopers. She's got to go capture the dude. She's got to do this, and it's very cool. They've introduced all the Night Sisters lore into her thing, which is just great. So I thought those were really fun cards, and it was really fun to just like use all that good stuff.
Asajj Ventress caught me off guard because I didn't think I was really going to enjoy her because I have not seen her TV show
She was
or
the first
anything
one I
about them.
went
But the mechanic design wise, she was my favorite. I really liked the mission category where I could just like have my to-do list and move on.
Also, if anyone remembers cartoon Clone Wars and how freaking scary Asajj Ventress was in that, like, also General Grievous, he was terrifying. But yeah, good memories with these characters. It's so much fun. Great choices.
So next up, let's talk about Darth Vader. He was good across the board. I would say he's one of the easier characters to play. Yeah. His mission is fairly simple, turn like Luke onto the conflicted side and move him over to the end with Palpatine. It's pretty straightforward. So if you're going to give someone that's new to Villainous, I would probably give them Darth Vader because he's pretty powerful, but his mission is completely straightforward. I enjoyed playing him. I have nothing really negative to say about him other than his art deck.
Then we got Kylo Ren. Okay, so I'll start by saying the unpopular opinion that I love the new sequel movies. I think they're great. I think they're fun. And I thought the theming for Kylo Ren was fantastic. He's so conflicted, light side, dark side, what do I do? Oh, my parents are here. So his deck just like makes sense and every card is very thematic. Though it is impossible to win as this guy, dude. In a 2-player game, his fate deck is just so mean that he's one of those characters where I get reset back to square zero constantly. And I felt like I was constantly back where I started. And he has very little control over stopping that. So I think one thing is that his fate deck, he has the ability to draw the top 4 cards from his fate deck. He can discard one. He can rearrange the others. He has condition cards that can prevent you from playing anything but the top fate card, which was great, which meant I only had the fate cards played against me that I wanted. But even so, I just cannot see winning as this character in a 2-player game.
And then I wouldn't even be able to see it, so not 2-player, but even maybe at a larger group count. Like the only way I think he would win is if you just kind of forgot about him, because we played at this 3 and we played him at 4, and Kylo has been yet to win and has not been the same person. Different people have tried him out. His play style, to give you an example, it's very Gaston-like. Better theming, definitely, but exact same mechanics as Gaston, where you can just get start over at square one and have to work your way back to the mission again. I would just wish there was a way to not get stuck at 1.
Yeah. So I think I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I think that if 1 or 2 of the locations had an additional ambition spot, probably could do a lot better, because I was piling up ambition and I could only play 1 ambition card at most per turn. Could I play 2? I probably could have been a bit more balanced. So I feel like maybe I'm just gonna overwrite one of those, like the one with the double play card. I'm gonna turn the bottom one into an ambition space.
So overall, our thoughts on Star Wars Villainous is that it is a crunchy version of Villainous. I enjoy it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Keep going. They did a great job. It's very, very thematic. I would say that one is definitely excels in this. The theme is there clearly.
Yes. I'm excited for the expansion.
Art, I would say, gets kind of a C+, B-. I would say some commitment, some not commitment. Minis are great. And then Kylo he needs some work. But that is overall our thoughts. I still think it is a fantastic game to pick up if you are into the Villainous or into Star Wars and want to add this to your collection. All right, everyone, and that is our review of Star Wars Villainous. Let us know down below who you think should be in the next expansion of the Star Wars Villainous universe. I'd love to hear and chat about it. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can know whenever we put out a new video. And we'll see you next time.
Happy playing!